You know, I studied a lot of people's hands at one time because, like, you know, this was a guy that was around back in the day.
That's right.
Tank, then you had Wing. That's me.
That's me. That's right.
And then JS. Everybody knew who JS was.
Right.
You had Tap. You had Mo.
Go ahead, Dad.
You had Cornbread.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Cornbread was.
Yeah.
Titty. Cool Cav. This is one of my favorite writers, Cool Cav.
So.
Dr. Cool.
Yeah.
You know, you had a whole... I could never get his hand because he was too wicked for me. And then the writers nowadays, you got this guy that's out now, you know.
Cadism, yeah.
And you had Duck. Back. So it's a slew of guys that I used to like try to imitate, you know. But, you know, this is like, you know, what we do, you know, we have different styles, you know. This is Tank's style, that's We style. Mo, Tap, JS, Titty had his own style, Cool Cav, Cornbread, Dr. Cool, Duck, Back, Cadism, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, so everybody had their own style.
That's very true.
Yeah. So that's what graffiti was basically about, just style and original, you know, being original.
That's right.
And then it came with the block stuff.
As you can see, it wasn't no bubble letters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not what we was into.
Right.
Like he said earlier, that was we referred to that as New York styles.
Right.
You know, we ain't care about New York styles then. We was Philly.
But you know, I always doodle, you know. My man Popcorn. Who else? Fox. Now that was Fox style. You know, his F was the signature.
Original.
Yeah, you know, nobody else had that.
That was something that if you seen that real quick and all you seen was that, you knew just who it was.
And there was one guy that I like, he's an old timer, Cupid. Remember Cupid?
Cupid from K&S?
Yeah.
Now tell me, was he the same person at Sundance?
Sundance, yeah.
Loved that.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, him and Bird.
Loved it. JK was supposed to introduce me to him.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's real tight with them cats.
And then they had this guy named Evil. He amazed me with his hand.
Yep. There you got it. There you got it.
It's Evil. So that was a style of his own. Then you had another guy named Poet. It's Poet. You had Hip. It's Hip. So
how do you remember all these styles?
Huh?
And how are you able to do
over the years of doing it, you never forget it. You know,
I think I told you before that if you're a real graffiti writer, you're also a fan.
Right, exactly.
You know, you tend to like other people's stuff.
Right.
If if something in their style strikes you, you tend to remember it, and you tend to want to give props to where it's due. You know, you can't be a real. I don't care if you're king of the walls or whatever. You ain't a real graffiti writer unless you a fan.